Hey Kitsugen! Today we're exploring 7 fantastic ways to let your chat trigger emotes on your stream and even hit you with them. Ah. Why the bears? Ow, ow, they get the point. Stop it, stop it. Ah. So whether you're a live 2D, 3D, PNG tuber, or even one of those fleshies, I have several options for you. I'll be introducing each method, showing you how to set them up, and going over what they will and won't work with. Beyond that, I'm not going in depth on all of them, otherwise this video would be huge. However, if there's a method you want to see all the bells and whistles of, let me know in the comments. So sit down, grab a pen, and write that check because it is time to pay attention to some Kitsune wisdom. Before we get started, all relevant links are going to be in the comments, and this is also true if I get enough requests for deep dive videos on any of these methods. So stick around to the end as I'll be sharing what I personally use and why, and then what I thought of all the other options, because I'd never heard of some of these until I made this video. And finally, I'll be adding sections to the video so you can easily come back to a method that you're interested in setting up later. And if you find this video useful, please do like, comment, subscribe, and pass this video on to a friend. All of these things are completely free and help me grow, as well as let me know what you like as far as future content. First up is VTube Studio. If you haven't heard of it, it's a must-have for live 2D VTubers. It works with 2D Twitch emotes, allowing your chat to interact with you in fun ways. You can try it for free, and for $15 USD, you can remove the watermark and unlock more features. And if your model is made with Live 2D, you're probably already using this. Double-click the screen, and on the left, click the gear. Now on the top, click the other gear, and then scroll far down just under Advanced Lip Sync. Underneath that, you'll see Twitch settings. Click Connect Account. This will open up a browser window, prompting you to link your Twitch account. When this is complete, you will see your Twitch information in a purple box inside of VTube Studio. Under that, click Login and Activate. And after connection status says connected, click Config. Here you're going to see 2 options. One says Twitch Emote Dropper and the other says Twitch Chat Scroll. Click Emote Dropper and then select. Ensure that the top option is enabled to turn the feature on. And there are many options here, like smoothing the borders for a cleaner edge to your emotes, and using things like Better Twitch TV, 7TV, Franker Face Z, which are all additional emotes that your chat can use. And if you want these emotes to bounce off of and react to your model, ensure that that option is enabled as well. KBonk, aka KBonk, is a name-your-own-price program that doesn't need to be installed, just unzipped into a folder. It's a plugin for VTube Studio, so it only works with live 2D VTubers and uses Twitch emotes, as well as others that you can add into the program itself. This program has a guided setup process to follow, so if you get lost, just look in the main window. It's going to tell you what to do next. In the very bottom, let's click on Login, and a new window is going to pop up to authorize your Twitch account. Next, it's going to prompt you to add a browser source to OBS. So in OBS, click the plus to add a source, choose the web type, name it whatever you like, and make sure you check local source, and then browse to where you put KBonk on your PC. Go into the resources folder and then the app folder and select bonker.html. Make sure your web source size matches your OBS canvas size here. Otherwise, if you're in 4K and you set it to 1080p and then stretch it, it's going to be blurry. Next up, it wants to connect to VTube Studio. So in VTube Studio, you should see a pop-up asking to authorize KBonk. Make sure to click Allow. VNyan is our first program for 3D VTubers. And similar to VTube Studio, if you're a 3D VTuber, you probably already have it. And I'm not going to count Warudo here because I couldn't find any emote options for them at all. This is also a name-your-own-price option, but unlike others so far, it works with not only Twitch, but YouTube, Kick, and others. In the top right, click on Menu. And then in the top left, you're going to see Connect to Twitch. And then just like the others, it's going to pop up and ask you to authorize, so be sure to do that. And after that's done, back up in the top right, next to where it says Menu, you're going to click Settings. About halfway down, you're going to click on Twitch. It's enabled by default, but I always like to make sure that Drop Twitch Emotes is checked. And after that, your chat emotes will now drop on you. So be sure to add the source to OBS, just like we did with the previous applications. Our first web-based option is Emote Wall, which is completely free and works for everybody, VTubers and fleshies alike, because it is an overlay for your stream. It offers both a web and download option, uses 2D emotes only, but it works with Twitch, YouTube, Kick, and other streaming platforms. Alright, since this one's a website, you'll need to use the link in the description. Once you're there, top left, you'll see Download Emote Wall. Don't worry, it doesn't download anything quite yet. Then you're going to get two options, which is Config Wizard and Manual Config. I chose the Wizard. So in the top right, you're going to see the platforms that you can use with this, and I'm going to use Twitch. And once you click on this, you're going to see some features that you can use with it, so check whatever you like. After that, click Authenticate on Twitch, and then Authorize, and then Kappa-gens, whatever. This has a ton of options, so it would probably need its own video, and if that's something that you want, be sure to let me know in the comments. After that, you can click Download, and it's still not going to download anything, but it's going to give you two options. The actual download is the recommendation, which is going to save an HTML file to your hard drive. And then you'll just import this into OBS using the local file option. Or you can get a URL that just does like any web source and links back to their website. But either way, URL or file, make sure you don't lose it because this website does not save any of your settings. And you're going to need one or the other in order to pick up where you left off later. The next web option is StreamLabs, and while yeah, they do have paid things, this isn't one of them, so I'm going to count it as free. And because it's an overlay, it works for everybody, VTubers and fleshies, and only uses the Twitch emotes, which are of course 2D. Go to the website and log in, and then click on Streaming Essentials, All Widgets, Chat Wall, copy the URL, create a web source in OBS, paste in that URL, and set the size to match your OBS output. Again, make sure if it's 1080p you use that, if it's 4K you use that, otherwise you're stretching and making things blurry. Our last web option is StreamElements, and these two services are pretty much clones of each other, so all the callouts that I had for StreamLabs carry through to StreamElements. And of course, we go to the site to log in, click the three lines in the top left, go to Overlay, Add Overlay, click that plus button in the bottom left, go to Alerts, and then Kappa-gen, whatever that is. Our last option is what I think most people are already using, which is the Twitch Integrated Throwing System. And you can put together what that acronym spells out because I am not going to say it. But this setup comes in two flavors. One is a self-extracting exe, and the other is a manual extracting zip file. But after you do that, the setup's the same. This works with Live2D or 3D VTubers that are using VSeeFace. And it uses 3D objects that you can add directly into the program, and it can only be used on Twitch. And if you notice in the trigger menu that you have a YouTube icon as if you can use it, but the connected channel option is just not there, so it might have been removed in order to fix something in the programming and could reappear later. In the new folder that was created either from the exe or the zip, double-click on the launcher. You may be asked to give it network access, so be sure to do that. Next up, there's a user agreement. There's a user agreement to accept, so you better do that. And in the top right, click on Connections. Then click on Twitch. That's going to prompt that same authorization window that you see for the other options. And then under that, depending on if you use VTube Studio or VSeeFace, click on that to connect it to your program. And since I only have VTube Studio, I can show that, which is going to pop up something that asks to authorize the connection. And then once you do this, that basic human shape that you've seen at the start is going to now match your model's outline. Now we need to add TITS, not going to say it, to OBS on top of your model in order for it to work. So back in OBS, click on the plus for source, choose game source, change it from full screen, match executable, allow transparency, and that's it. You will still see the menus from TITS, but don't worry. If you hit F10 twice, those menus go away, and if you click out of the program, it'll disappear in a few seconds. You can also click the camera in the bottom right versus the F10 twice. You can click F9 as well to throw a random object at your head to test it. But make sure you're looking at OBS to make sure everything's working as intended. And if you don't like the F9 or F10, you can change it in the settings to be whatever you like. Before making this video, I was using VTube Studio's built-in emote drop and TITS for chat to bully me. But after answering a post on Reddit's r/VTuberTech, I discovered so many more options. And the two that have me the most excited are KBonk and Emote Wall. So I'm planning to explore these and see exactly what I can add to my streams. And also, because I'm branching out to stream on both YouTube and Twitch, I want to be able to offer interactive features to both sides. And as for the other options, I can't quite use VNyan because I don't have a 3D model, and it was interesting to see the emotes hit a floor and lay there for a while. I'd most likely want to use the TITS program, and yes, I did say it, which would push me more towards using VC Face, which only leaves the StreamLabs and StreamElements options. Both are pretty basic and easy to set up, but there's way more that you can do with Emote Wall. Sure, the setup is more complex, but I think it's worth it for all the effects and flexibility that comes with it. So, what'd you think? Which ones were your favorites? Do you use any of these currently? Did I leave something out? Do you plan to switch to a new method now that you've watched my video? I'd love to hear your plans in the comments below. And also, don't forget to let me know if you want to see an in-depth video on any of these methods in a future video. And before you go, stay with me by watching one of the recommended videos that you see on your screen right now. And at very least, hit subscribe while you're here so I can see you again sometime soon. Later, my kitsugen.